First we had Finding Nemo, then we had Finding Dory, and now Finding Ezra.
Oh, look, Krill!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be discussing episode 5 of Ahsoka. So let's talk about that. But before we get started, if you guys have been enjoying this review series of Ahsoka, let me know your comments down below, all your thoughts. I would love to hear you guys' feedback. I will be doing a overall season review once the show is over for season 1, and I'll continue to obviously do more shows and more Ahsoka here in the near future. Now, let's get into episode 5. Forewarning, because this is kind of a big episode within the Ahsoka series, this is going to contain spoilers. So, spoilers, you have been warned. Now, this one obviously kicks off where she was in kind of this Force universe in a way, face to face with Anakin Skywalker that we saw at the end of episode 4. And Anakin is trying to teach her some lessons from his Force ghost kind of essence. And there was a bunch of spoilers everywhere on the internet, on Instagram, on Twitter, just regular Google searches. There was tons of spoilers everywhere. So I already saw Anakin with his red lightsaber fighting Ahsoka. I've seen pictures of it everywhere. So the entire time, unfortunately, it wasn't a surprise for me. So that probably took it down a notch in terms of the enjoyability of this episode, because I was just waiting for that to happen. But that battle between Ahsoka and Anakin was honestly the best part of this episode. Just seeing Anakin back again, and then also having Ahsoka, which I think has been doing a much better job fitting into this Ahsoka role that she was in the first couple of episodes. It's starting to flow a lot better, and I'm really happy about that, because I wanted that from the start. It's starting to flow a lot better. The pacing is good. The storyline is good. There's a lot more references from older shows, which I'll get into some negative on that part as well. But for the most part, I think this episode did a pretty good part of kind of just going back to some kind of older reminiscence of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, showing Ahsoka when she was young, which is really nice to see. It was kind of a cool thing. I kind of seen a young Ahsoka in live action, seeing Anakin in his kind of famous wear that he would put on in the Star Wars: The Clone Wars series, seeing him with looking a little bit younger, a little bit shorter hair, back in the Clone Wars is really nice to see as well. And him trying to teach again Ahsoka through this kind of Force ghost essence, and trying to help her survive this kind of new threat that's coming to the galaxy. Now, of course, they do fight. It's not that Anakin is evil. He, of course, becomes good as a Force ghost. He was just trying to show her that there's evil out there, and they will do anything to stop them. And Ahsoka eventually ends up beating Anakin in a way. I feel like it was kind of a little Anakin kind of let her win, but regardless, she does do that, and in turn, Anakin thinks that there's hope for her in actually saving Ezra, preventing this threat from coming to the new galaxy. And she wakes up from this kind of Force dream, and they are able to find her in the ocean, because she got thrown off this cliff in the previous episode and was in this giant water planet. And another thing too, the whole thing with them trying to figure out how they're gonna get to Sabine and Ezra now, since they don't have the star map anymore. Ahsoka thought it would be a great idea to get into the mouth of these giant whale alien type things. I don't even know what to call them, but that's a pretty cool idea. And it was interesting because I thought these whales, you've seen them a couple of times already in the past few episodes, and they look pretty slow moving. But then you see them at the end of the episode, they do light speed jumps, which was really awesome to seeing these ginormous kind of whale, octopus type looking creatures doing those kind of jumps. And it makes you think, because these whales came from a different galaxy. The star map kind of helped them come from a different galaxy. And it makes you think, all this technology that the characters of our beloved Star Wars universe got from these kind of ancient creatures. And that's kind of just a cool thing to see visually. That doesn't have to do anything with the story at all. It's just something cool to see that there's you see how they were able to kind of create some of these light speed engines and ships and stuff, because they, I guess, learned from the creatures that they were in the universe and stuff, which is kind of awesome. But other than that, I mean, the story is still progressing. Of course, Sabine is gone. Ahsoka was able to figure out what kind of happened. She was able to do this kind of like force vision in a way and figure out that Sabine gave the star map over to the Sith and was able to find the coordinates to this new galaxy for Lord Thrawn and also Ezra, which Sabine goes with him. Of course, we saw the last episode to rescue him. So Ahsoka knows where they are, sort of, or at least knows what happened and where Sabine is, and knows that Sabine is alive. But now she needs to travel with these kind of space whales and hope for the best that they can come meet again, of course, which will probably will happen. It's not like it's gonna be like, oh well, they can't find each other, it's over now. But that's kind of a cool send off, and her going off to this other galaxy, which I don't think, in my knowledge at least, any of our Star Wars characters have ever gone to any other galaxy besides their own, right? Because all the planets and stuff, all the movies that have taken place in that one galaxy far, far away, and I don't think they've ever traveled intergalactic between different galaxies. So that's kind of another cool thing to see. Seeing if things are the same in a different galaxy, are people force sensitive over there? Are there Jedis over there? Does the lore continue in a different galaxy? That would be kind of a cool thing to see within the future. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. Probably the best episode within the Ahsoka series so far. Of course, with Anakin kind of showing up again, that's always a great thing to see. Seeing Hayden Christensen kind of coming back to play the Anakin roles in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and now in Ahsoka is just really nice to see. So I really enjoyed this episode. One thing I'll say that's kind of been bugging me about these kind of Star Wars shows that have been coming out, and also I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but they've also released that they're going to make a Lando movie here pretty soon, which is cool. Seeing our characters from previous movies kind of having their own series and movies and stuff. But I think what would benefit Disney and Star Wars is creating new stories like they did with The Mandalorian. I think having like new stories and new characters to care about, to be interested in, could be more beneficial in the Star Wars universe than just taking characters from different series and making their own series out of it. Because there's only so much you can do with a character that you've already seen what may happen with them in the future, or if you don't know what happened with them in the future, you already seen what happened in the past. So you have to explore their past again in a new series and stuff. So it kind of just defeats the purpose when you make these shows off of characters that we've already seen a lot of. And I think a new kind of character or new story, fresh, would be a better thing for Disney and Star Wars. That's just a little rant at the end here. But overall, I really enjoyed this Ahsoka episode 5. Let me know what you guys thought about this one and how you guys are faring with the Ahsoka series so far. But I'll go ahead and see you guys next week with the next Ahsoka episode and any future movies that I go ahead and review. So thank you guys. This was Leo's Nerd Talk. Hope to see you again.